In a world where economic powerhouses like the United States and China often dominate headlines, two European nations are quietly making waves in the financial seas. Poland and the United Kingdom, each with its own unique set of circumstances, economic paths. While Poland has been enjoying a 28-year growth spree, the UK is grappling with economic struggles that have left experts puzzled. But what could this mean? Could Poland's economy soon outshine that of the UK anytime soon? The Polish miracle, a 28-year growth spree. Poland's economic journey is nothing short of miraculous. Emerging from the shadows of World War I and II and navigating through the complexities of communism, Poland has managed to build an economy that is both resilient and growing. The nation has been liberalizing its economy since 1990 and has not experienced a recession since the global economic downturn of 2008 to 2009. This is a feat that even some of the world's most developed nations haven't achieved. Stability is not just a stroke of luck, it's a result of strategic planning and reforms. For instance, Poland has diversified its economy, which has helped it recover quickly from crises like the COVID-19 pandemic. The logistics market in Poland is extremely diverse and plays a significant role in the European market of transport and logistics companies. The country's advantageous Central European location, growing GDP, and stable economy make it an ideal market for transportation and logistics companies. Poland's infrastructure has also seen significant improvements thanks to EU funds. The country is one of the fastest developing nations in terms of sea freight, air freight, and rail freight. This has made Poland not just a strategic market in Europe, but also a global trade destination en route to countries like China, India, the US, and the Middle East. And lastly, Poland has been prudent in its fiscal policies, maintaining a relatively low level of public debt. This has allowed the government to invest in social programs and infrastructure projects without straining the national budget. The result is a stable economy that has been able to weather global economic storms. The UK's economic struggles. On the other side of the channel, the United Kingdom, once a beacon of economic stability and growth, has been grappling with a series of challenges that have put its economic prowess to the test. While the country is expected to dodge a recession this year, the outlook remains far from rosy. The energy price shock, largely attributed to Russia's war in Ukraine, has thrown a wrench into the UK's economic recovery plans. Growth projections from the country stand at a modest 0.4% for 2023 and 1% for 2024. This is a far cry from the robust growth rates the UK enjoyed prior to the 2008 global financial crisis. Inflation has been another thorn in the side of the UK economy. Record levels of inflation have been a cause for concern, prompting the authorities to tighten monetary policy. A 50 base point rise in the interest rates was implemented in June, along with adjustments to fiscal policy to combat inflation. However, these measures are not a one-stop solution. The UK also faces structural challenges, including weak potential growth, currently estimated at about 1.5%. This calls for ambitious reforms to bolster the country's productive potential. The UK's economic struggles can also be traced back to the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis. Prior to the crisis, the UK was a strong performer among the group of 7 countries. However, this momentum was lost, and by 2022, real business investment in the UK was still slightly lower than in 2016. This is in stark contrast to a 14% increase in business investment among other G7 economies. The labor supply in the UK, which has just reached its pre-pandemic level, has also been weaker than its peers. Productivity growth has been sluggish, reflecting a slower pace of innovation and technological diffusion. Brexit-related uncertainty has been another significant factor affecting the UK's economic performance. While steps have been taken to reduce this uncertainty through the Windsor Framework and a more measured approach to reviewing retained EU laws, the impact of Brexit cannot be ignored. The spring budget introduced measures like enhanced childcare support and tax relief on investment in plant and machinery to boost labor participation and business investment. However, these are short-term fixes for long-term problems. The UK's 4Es strategy, which targets high-productivity growth areas such as advanced manufacturing, life sciences, and clean energy, is a step in the right direction. However, more needs to be done. A stable, long-term strategy to promote business investment is crucial. This could include a permanent set of tax incentives and public infrastructure investments in transportation, health networks, and the green transition. Planning system liberalization could also facilitate investment in new industries and improve the mobility of firms and workers. The numbers speak. When it comes to comparing the economies of Poland and the United Kingdom, numbers often speak louder than words. A visit to Wrocław, a city in Poland, reveals a rapidly developing Central European superpower. The country has been on a growth trajectory that's hard to ignore. A country once known for its drab cities, low expectations, and hard lifestyle is today a different story altogether. Poland's military strength is also noteworthy. The country plans to double the size of its army to 300,000 soldiers, equipped with the latest Western technology. They are investing around $10 billion in US-made artillery systems that have proven effective on the battlefield. Poland has increased its defense spending to 4% of its GDP, making it one of the largest in NATO. This is in stark contrast to the UK, which only plans to reach a defense spending of 2.5% by 2030. The economic disparities between Poland and the UK have also narrowed drastically. Adjusting for purchasing parity, the GDP per head in Poland is now £28,200 compared to £35,000 in the UK. If Poland continues on its current trajectory, it will overtake the UK by 2030. Since the millennium, Poland's real GDP per capita has more than doubled. By contrast, the GDP per capita in Britain grew between 15% and 24% over the same period. Living standards in cities like Warsaw are already comparable to those in London. The cost of living is much lower in Poland than in Western Europe. Rents in cities like Wrocław are about 1/5 of those in London. Poland even now has a trade surplus with Germany, known as the exports world champion. In education, Poland consistently ranks among the top 5 or 6 in reading, maths, and science out of 38 OECD countries, laying the foundation for strong future economic growth. The future. The future of Poland and the UK's economies is a topic of much debate and speculation. Poland's President Andrzej Duda has been on a diplomatic offensive, visiting Western leaders to raise awareness about the Russian aggression in their region. From a Polish perspective, German military weakness and complacency in Ukraine are infuriating but hardly surprising. This is because of the close relations of German political and business leaders with Vladimir Putin's regime. Poland has been filling the leadership gap created by the lack of initiative from Berlin and Paris. This is an indicator of Poland's rising influence and its willingness to take a stand on global issues. On the other hand, in the UK, the focus has been more on internal matters like trade agreements post-Brexit and tackling the economic fallout of the pandemic. The country has been less aggressive in its foreign policy, which has led to questions about its role on the global stage. The UK's economic trajectory has also been a subject of concern. But where does all of this lead us? Are we witnessing the dawn of a new economic era where Poland takes the lead? Only time will tell. Tell us in the comments below. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and sharing so we can keep bringing more content like this. See you next time!